Hello everyone, MightyMechanic here. So today we're going to be replacing the spark plugs on this 2008 Kia Sedona. This has a 3.8 liter V6, and this should be the same across a lot of the Kia and Hyundai models. This should be similar to the 3.3, 3.5. Those engines should be pretty similar. So let's go ahead and jump right in and get started. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start by taking this cover off. That one in there. This one is missing on this side, so it should be four though. Alright, so now that the cover is off, we have access to the engine here. So it looks like we're going to have to take the upper part of the intake manifold off to get to the back spark plugs. And the ones in the front are just fine here. You're just going to take off these bolts here, pull your coils off, and then you can pull your spark plugs out. But to get to the back ones, we're going to remove the intake manifold here. Alright, so we got that manifold off. So I'm going to go back over and kind of, show you what I did. So you're going to have the bolts across the top here, as you saw me take all that off. I was able to just take the bolts off. There's one here, and then two holding this on. I went ahead and took this off too, so I could set it aside like that. But that gave me enough room to pull this back and get in here to remove all these bolts down in here. So you're going to have, let's see if I can show you here. You're going to have three across the back. There we go. Three across the back, or front, I mean. And then you're going to have a nut on each side, and then you're going to have one in the middle right here. And then, so that's not all it holds it. You have two brackets. I didn't show taking this off when I was doing the fast motion because it's kind of back in here and you really couldn't see what I was doing anyway. You have a bracket right here held in by a 14mm bolt. And then you have another bracket on this side right here that's held in by a 12mm bolt. You have to remove those two to get the intake manifold off. And I went ahead and I removed the throttle body just so that way I don't have to disconnect those wires and hose. And also you're going to have a hose. Hang on. There we go. You're going to have a hose right here. You have to remove off the intake manifold. Over here, you're going to have these two wires, which you can just pull off this clip thing here. When you take that bolt off for this bracket, this will come off too. I guess you could leave the wires on there if you wanted to, but and then I think that's all. And you can have this bracket here that's just sitting on top there. Oh, and also this bracket that holds this line on, there's two 12mm bolts that hold that on as well. So let's go and get these spark plugs out. Alright, so as you saw, I got all the spark plugs out. So each of your coil packs is held in by a 10mm bolt. Go ahead and remove all your bolts that hold your coil packs on, and then you can go and pull them off. And then I use a 5/8 long socket to get the spark plugs out. And then for the new ones, just dropped my grease. For the new ones, I went ahead and used some of this dielectric grease for the side that goes into... I like dropping stuff. I put it on the side where your coil pack goes into. And then for the threads, I went ahead and put some anti-seize on there. So go ahead and do that, and let's go ahead and put the new ones in. Alright, so now that we have all our spark plugs back in, it's time to go ahead and put this intake manifold back on. So I'm going to go ahead and replace this gasket on top here. It's a good idea to replace it because you're taking it apart anyway, and you might as well just go ahead and replace it. So just go ahead and clean that up with some, I use some brake cleaner on the towel and just wipe that off real good. And same goes for the intake, the manifold itself. Go ahead and clean that up as well. And then we're going to go ahead and put it back on here. So. Alright, so as you see, I got everything back together. So I'll kind of walk through, it's, the reverse removal, but, so go ahead and put your throttle body back on. You're going to have those two nuts and then one bolt in the bottom. You're going to have, here, we got my light real quick. You're going to have your hose for your brake booster, put that back on. You got a hose right here for this thing, and a bolt here, put that back on there. You have a hose for your intake tube, your two clamps. And then when you bolt, after you bolt your intake down, go ahead and put your two bolts on that holds this metal hose here, right here. There's two bolts holding that on there, and then you can put the top part, this part on here, and bolt this down. And right here, and this side, you can go ahead and put this bracket back on. So remember, I took this, I don't know if I said this earlier when I was taking it off, I took this part off here so I would have more room to move this back to get down into the bolts there. So go ahead and put this stuff on first, and then put this on. That way you'll have more room to get your bolts on in there. So go ahead and put this on, and then put this on first, and then you can put this on, because if you put the top one on first, you won't be able to get to your bolt to put your bottom one on. So go ahead and put that on there, and then you're going to have a bolt on top there. And of course your two back brackets, you have a 14mm on this side, the 12 on this side. And then this side holds your two wires back in there. And then this side, you have a hose going to your, I know you can't see it now, but there's a hose going into your intake manifold over here. So go ahead and put that back on. So we're now pretty much done. So let's go and get that cover and put the cover back on and start it up. Alright, thanks for watching. If this video is helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more of my videos in the future, please subscribe, and see y'all next time.